the only species on Earth,
Yeah.
we have to be, that are literally spraying the food to kill
Yes.
other living creatures with poison and
Right.
then eating that
And then eating
poison
it.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's
very
insane,
weird.
right?
It's a
Why
very
are we doing
like
that?
yeah, my name's Caroline Howell. I was born in Iowa originally, so I mostly grew up in Iowa, Minnesota. I'm a Midwest, United States Midwest kid. Basically, in all the states where it turns into a complete icebox, like in the winter, I'm from there. I went to school in Tennessee. I then spent most of my adult life in Denver, Colorado. So
Got it.
I moved to Panama about 3 years ago from Colorado, and I would call Colorado sort of my more recent home. I
Oh,
really
right.
love it. But I didn't come down here to like change the world. I came down here to actually have a much quieter life, to live much more simply. I wasn't sure that I would even live here full time when we first bought property. I thought I would sort of split time between the places, but
Right.
eventually just really fell in love. And now I spend most of my time here. So
And the idea of regenerative communities, and I kind of looked around as I looked into this idea of what you're doing, and tried to find other communities or resorts or developments that do the same thing. And I'll be honest with you, I had a hard time finding them. You know what I mean? And I was like, I'm gonna have this great idea. I'm gonna connect all these together, and we're gonna build this audience and stuff. And then I started looking for them. I couldn't find any. I was like, okay, well that was a great idea, but didn't really work. So it's a kind of a unique situation that it appears to me that you've taken the idea of wellness and preservation to another level. And I think where did that come from, and how did that become such a big part of what you're doing?
one of the ways in which this project is forming, which I think is unique and is important as we talk about the story of all of it, is that the premise that my partner Omani and I started with was that this would be kind of a land banking play. Like for sure we knew we would want to develop it over time, but we really purchased this just believing in the area, believing in this, the place is so beautiful. So we wanted to move in a in a really real way to buy these assets. But we didn't come in with like, this is our plan from the top down that most developments are doing.
Right.
And this has allowed me to develop everything quite a bit more organically and really develop it alongside of nature, which has proven to have all kinds of incredible benefits. And that was sort of set us down this path of being what I would call us as a nature-based community, where we're really forming around the restoration of the nature. And given that we are also a part of that natural system,
Right.
and as we restore it, we also see that we can also be restored.
Yeah, it's always amazing to me how humans don't believe that they're part of nature. Is that the
Yeah.
craziest thing? I mean, it's the truth,
Yeah.
though, right?
The reason we've gotten so far away from our food systems and from nature and everything else is like we've just sort of lost the context for it. We've
Right.
sort of forgotten that we
Right.
are a part of nature because we live in these cities designed to separate us completely from it. And so when you
Right.
don't have that context, when it's not right next to you, the fact that wow, it feels so good to watch this plant grow up next to me,
Right.
and
Right.
that there's this inherent
Right.
value that you receive and well-being that you feel.
Like kids think that vegetables come from a grocery store, you know what I mean? And my kids are planting, so they get, like there's plants all over the place. I don't have, there's no pretty flowers in my house. It's all like, what can I eat? You know what I mean? And I don't know why it's become such a passion, but it is, right? But I also understand that it's lacking in a lot of places. And if you look at the history of the world and human species, that's how we survived a long time doing that.
But I think
get
you're on
it.
the right side of this movement, right? Like this is happening in communities all over the country where people are, like I said earlier, joining a CSA. They have a farm plot. But we were talking about this yesterday, and Dean had this great idea of doing this on your own property, like promoting people doing it here. So it really is holistic. It's really become a part of your life. And then why not, when you're on vacation, go to that space and bring that holistic life with you.
I think the other part of it for me that has just been even more rewarding, like the world, it hasn't come to an end, we're not at the end yet. We have an opportunity to turn things around, and I think whether or not people have an interest in being a part of what we're doing down here, I love your guys' idea of like, what if everybody turned their backyard grass like fairly non-productive